Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the 20-minute fashion distraction. I am Jacqueline Jenkins, the founder of Sophisticated Curations, the online content, commerce, and collaboration community for the savvy fashionista, and also the host of the 20-minute fashion distraction. So I am so SEW excited about our show tonight. And I'm going to bring on my guest. Hold on for 1 minute. Hi, Rose.
Jackie.
How are you?
I'm so good. SEW.
Well, as I was right, hi, Claudia. As I was writing my post this morning, I was like, oh, we can play with this.
Yes.
SEW. And I love, okay, so I love Seem So Easy, another play of words. Um, and actually, I see my mom here, who actually was the first person that got me into sewing, and Van
Yay,
is here.
moms.
Yes. So Rose is the instructor, and I call her instructor guru. And we just quickly had a chance to chat, and I'm gonna put another word in front of that: instructor guru and sheer enthusiast for sewing. And she actually has a virtual sewing class that we're going to talk a bit about. But really, tonight, what we wanted to talk about is, as fashionistas, I'm quite sure at some point you might have thought about making something. And when I saw Rose, actually, I met Rose through a previous guest, Kelly, who was sharing some of her beautiful creations.
Amazing, Kelly.
And I like what Kelly's doing because she's reconstructing garments, and a lot of what we talk about on the 20-minute fashion distraction. Hi, Pamela, is this whole idea of shopping your closet. And I really love the way Kelly is not only shopping her closet, but she's shopping her husband's closet and reconstructing stuff. I mean, it's just really fabulous.
She's amazing. I'm like, I can't even touch what Kelly's doing. I'm like,
It's amazing. I mean, I love it, love it, love it. So
yeah,
20 minutes goes by so fast, and
I
we're,
know.
and we're but this is an exciting show. It's so exciting. So the first question I have is, how did you first get into sewing?
Okay, so that was about 27 years ago. And I was determined. I said, you know what? I'm going to make me something. I'm going to get on this sewing machine. I had no idea what I was doing. And I'm going to make me something. So, well, long story short, it didn't go so well. It did not go so well. I made so many mistakes that, being a beginner, that's what you do. You make mistakes and it's okay because you learn from from your mistakes. But yeah, that was my first time getting on. You know what? Now that I think about it, I'm gonna take that back.
Yes.
I did take a home economics, remember we used to have
Yes.
that in
Yep.
school that I wish they didn't take them out right now, right? But home economics, we did have a sewing project, but that was like in middle school. So that
Well,
was my first
but you know what? You raised a point that I think is so true, right?
time.
And we make a mistake and we kind of get, because I was just sharing with you how I have a pattern that I've not been able to. So what are some typical mistakes that beginners make when sewing?
Yeah, so there are a few. The first one that came to my mind was buying the wrong size pattern, right?
Mm.
So when a beginner thinks, okay, I'm going to make something, the first thing you do is, okay, well, I need to go buy a pattern, right? So you have the popular, major brand companies, Simplicity, Vogue, McCall's that we all know. So you go buy a pattern, but you don't realize that the pattern does not relate to your retail size of clothes that you
Mhm.
shop for. Or
Oh, so
yes.
talk more about that. Talk more about that.
You're like, oh, yeah.
That
Because
that was an aha moment.
that's what
Say
I did.
more.
I said, okay, whatever size I was, a little itty bitty back then. Right? So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go buy me a size 6. And because that's the size that I wore, retail size. And I got that pattern home and I tried to make me a skirt. I could not fit that that skirt. That skirt was not trying to go. And at the same time, I didn't know what I was doing as far as like seam allowance and all that stuff. But anyway, but it's the wrong buying the wrong size patterns. The patterns are based on your body measurements.
Okay. So so
Mhm,
it, so if someone's so inspired from this tonight,
mhm.
they want to think about their body
You
measurements.
have
Okay.
to take accurate body measurements, and there's 3 to 4 body measurements that you should always know, and that will be your bust, waist, and hip. And that fourth one would be high bust, waist, hip. You have those 4 measurements, you can go purchase you a pattern.
I love it. Hi,
Mhm.
Leah, and I see my sister's here. Good to see you guys. And Ilya's here. Nice to see you. So, what was the favorite piece that you made? What's the piece that just kind of you're like, oh my goodness?
That's a hard question because I'm pretty passionate about most of the things that I sew. I try not to like over sew, like I want to make everything. I sew things based on what I want, that I'm passionate about. So, you know, uh, my last dress that I did, oh my goodness, right now is my favorite. It's made out of this knit fabric. It's a sleeveless. It has a turtleneck. It's so comfortable.
Hmm.
Uh, that right now is my favorite piece. So yeah, everything that mo- mostly everything that I make is because I'm passionate about it. I want to make it, and that is my favorite piece. So that's kind of a hard question I can't just pick just one.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I love it. And actually, there's a great point in the chat that says making sure that I'm assuming that's the patterns on sale and never playing.
Ooh, yes.
So can you can
That's a
you
good one.
share a little bit more about that?
Yes, because these patterns, they go on sale, especially at your local craft store. They go on sale on a regular. So, I mean, you can get patterns for 99 cents, $1.99, 2 for $5, or whatever that sale is running at the time. Um, Wait till they go on sale. Make you a list. Go to their website and shop. Right, just like browse and make a list of the things that you want to sew that you're passionate about. Save that list, the pattern number, the brand and the pattern number, and then when those patterns go on sale, which they always go on sale, then you just go straight to the drawer and you pick out your patterns. It saves you so much time. You don't have to sit at the table and browse through the catalog. And you just go and you pick up your patterns. But yeah, you can get some great patterns for 99 cents. So yes, whoever said that, that was good.
Yes, well, I know, and actually, you brought back a great childhood memory of mine because I remember actually going to. I grew up in Philadelphia, and
Mhm.
we used to go to this fabric store off of Wadsworth Avenue, and my mom's probably screaming right now, but and it was we would go through the catalogs and look at the patterns. But you're right, there is an opportunity to grab sales there, so that's
Yeah.
amazing. So, what
Hmm.
do you need? So say I am a true beginner
Hmm.
and I want to get started sewing. It
Hmm.
what equipment what do you need? Like what do you need to get started?
So obviously outside of the sewing machine, right? So I would say purchase some muslin, okay, or any inexpensive woven cotton, okay.
Actually, explain what muslin is.
Okay, muslin is just like some it's a beige woven 100% cotton fabric. And you use that as like a test run or a practice run. Like you're just practicing, you're just putting up a mock-up of what you want to do. So I would say purchase you some muslin if you are a beginner, because say when you practice first and you get your pattern down and you get the size right, then take that money and buy you some beautiful fabric that you want to sew your garment out of. You don't want to waste it by, spending. Fabric is expensive. Actually, especially if some really good fabric. And you are going to give yourself so much anxiety when you start cutting into that fabric. So
Yes.
you're like, oh no, so just hold off if you can and purchase you some muslin and then practice on that. So that's the number one, I think, item that you need to purchase. Number two is a sewing gauge. That is my favorite sewing tool. Is a sewing gauge, and a sewing gauge. It's really inexpensive. It's like a no more than like $1.50, depending on the type of um, one that you get. But the basic is that metal ruler. It's about 6 inches long, right?
Yep.
6, 7 inches long, and it has the guide there. That is my best friend. You're my best sewing tool when it comes down to sewing, because that way you can, measure out your seam allowances, you can measure out your hem, you can make marks on it. So, yeah. So that's, and then pins, of course, you need some good pins.
Straight pins.
Straight pins, with a glass tip, because when you pin your fabric, you can place that iron on
Oh,
top of the pins and it won't melt, because there's some that are made out of plastic and there's some that's made out of glass. Well, you place that iron on top of that plastic, it's going to melt the tip of the ball tip. So get some glass ones. A seam ripper, of course. Seam ripper is going to be your best friend. You're going to learn patience with the seam ripper. Okay, so you're going to make mistakes. And some good scissors. You need fabric scissors and you need a pair of paper scissors. So, and keep those separate. So those, I think, and of course your thread, right? You need some thread. Your sewing machine should come with needles. Your sewing machine will come with a bobbin. Actually, your sewing machine will probably come with a seam ripper as well. So it'll come with those basic tools you need. But I think the number one thing is get some muslin. Don't purchase some fabric right off the back. Practice first.
well, I love one of the questions in the chat, and it's, can you share what type of sewing machine
Ah,
to get started? Any
yes.
recommendations?
I get that question all the time. Now, I do have my favorite, and it's really not that expensive. So my favorite sewing machine is a Singer Heavy Duty. There's different models. You've probably seen it. It's gray. You can get it pretty much anywhere. But it's the Singer Heavy Duty 4411, 4423. The only difference between the models is probably how many accessories that come with the sewing machine, and then also how many stitches that it can make, pattern stitches. But for the most part, that is like my favorite sewing machine because it's durable. I mean, I've used that sewing machine for denim, for terry cloth, for lightweight fabric, heavy, medium weight fabric. It can pretty much take on anything. But there's I'm not going to single out some other good sewing machines because they're out there. Just focus on your budget, how much you want to spend. Do your research. Go to these websites. Go to Singer, Brother, Janome. Go to their websites and check out their sewing machines. Do your research.
Yeah, actually, that's such a actually the sewing machine that I do have. I actually bought it at a Black Friday sale.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're getting there a week
Yeah.
from now, you may want to think about that. Now, my sister's about to make me cry. I got her sewing machine lessons for,
Oh,
for her kid, her first sewing. Yeah, no, sewing is in our family, so it's so touching.
that is awesome.
um, and actually, here's a question: what are your thoughts about Bernini?
Oh, Bernina, the sewing machine?
Yes.
Well, I don't have one, so I don't have, I don't
Okay.
own one, so I don't like to speak about machine brands that I don't have.
Okay.
I did have a student that
Oh, I said
owns
it wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Bernina.
Bernina. Yes.
Bernina,
Yes.
Berni. Yeah.
Yes.
And by the way, I can't see the messages, so
I
no,
that's what I'm trying to read. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read to make
I just want to let the people know that I can't see the messages. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't own a Bernina. They're beautiful. They are some beautiful sewing machines. I did have a student who had a Bernina when she took the sewing class. And I had to do my research on how to use the sewing machine so I could show her how to use the sewing machine. And so they have some really great tutorials for that Bernina sewing machine. And those tutorials will show you every step on how to use it, which is a number one tip. Go to the websites of these companies. They have so much information on their product. I know we have YouTube and everyone's doing their, tutorials about their sewing machine, but go to the company. They have some really great tutorials on how to use their machines.
So can you talk about your virtual class and
Mhm.
what people will learn and how they could register? And I think you have something coming up in January.
Yes. So I don't have any open courses right now. The new course begins January 2022, and I am so super duper excited about this new course because I've changed some things and I've added some lessons to it. But the virtual sewing course, obviously, it's on Zoom, and we start from the very beginning. And I show you everything you need to know about your sewing machine. So when you sign up, there will be a question that you have to, like a question where you have to tell me what sewing machine you have, what brand. So that way, before class starts, I have to do my part and do my research to make sure I understand how to work your sewing machine. So when we get to class, it's pretty much catered to you and your sewing machine. And so I'll show you the steps on what you need to do on how to work it, thread it, all the parts, how to clean it. We take the sewing machine apart. We're undoing some screws because I want you to become comfortable with the sewing machine. The more you know, the more confident you'll be that you're not going to break it. If something jams up, you know how to fix it. You know how to take that plate off and get that thread out. So it's a hands-on course. And so after that, once we get comfortable with the sewing machine, we're off. We're off. You're practicing seams. We're learning about seam allowances. It's straight from the beginning, and then we're off to our project.
And how many weeks is the class? I know my sister's like, I would have signed up. I see Anthony's like, oh my goodness, he's so I'm telling you, people are getting excited. This is great.
It's I love it. I wish I had it. It's a course that I wish I had when I was learning how to sew. So um the course, I'm not quite sure how long it's going to be. My last course was 6 weeks. This one might be a little longer. So it's one class a week. So we come to
Okay.
class. It's a weekly class. So right now it's going to be on Saturdays. Um, but I'm not quite sure how long it'll be. I'm going to say probably around 6 to 8 weeks. I'm not rushing it. We can record it. If you cannot make every class, there will be a recording. But I strongly recommend you show up for at least the first two lessons because it's all about you and your sewing machine. Once you get comfortable with that sewing machine, then you can kind of follow along if you miss a class, if you can't, life, there's, our life, our schedule, things pop up. So I don't, you know, expect everyone to show up for every lesson. So we will record it. Yeah. So that
I
is.
yes, I think that's awesome. And then how can people find you?
So you can find me through my website, which is Seems So Easy. It's seems-so-easy.com. My Instagram is at Seems So Easy. And I do have a Facebook account that I'm trying to get going. And my Facebook account is Seems So Easy. Rose Woodward. Seems So Easy. Mhm.
Awesome. I think this is exciting.
I'm
So
so excited too.
and I hear the enthusiasm in your voice, which is great. As we close, is there any tip that you want to share in terms of thinking about getting started with with sewing?
Yes. Be patient. You need patience. Be patient with yourself. You're going to make mistakes. It's just sewing, just learn from those mistakes and it's okay. I actually love when mistakes happen in class. I love when someone's sewing machine gets stuck. I love when they because I don't want I want these mistakes to happen in class because when they happen when you're not in class and you're alone, I don't want you to get frustrated. I want you to, I know what to do. Let me just do this and rethread it and whatever. If your sewing machine needle breaks, it's okay. You're gonna learn how to change that needle. So just be patient, and you're gonna do it. You're gonna learn.
I love it. We're at 20 minutes. I know it goes so fast.
I know. I was like, this is gonna be your first show that's gonna go 25 minutes.
Well, what I want to say is, when you get a chance, I want you to look at Facebook because there's some amazing comments in the chat.
Aw.
On the 20-minute fashion distraction, there's one thing that I say is that there's one thing you can't get back, and that is time. So I thank you so much for sharing your time and your talent, Rose.
Thank you,
I thank the
Jackie.
audience, you guys, for showing up every Wednesday night. Next week is Thanksgiving, so we're actually doing our cooking and fashion show. So more to come on that. My buddy Courtney, the chef, will be here. And I just want to say, everybody have a good week. Rose, you hold on. And I will see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.